Hey, how do you do, buckaroos? How the heck are you? I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, and welcome back to Cocktails with the Whiskey Whisperer. So today I'm just going to do the classic simple highball. Draft walks into a bar, he says, hey guys, the highballs are on me. Anyway, always open with a bad joke. So whatever bourbon you choose, right? You can go as far down the food chain or as far up the food chain as you like. It's really about your own taste preference. Today I'm using the Cooper's Craft Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey at 100 proof, mostly because that's what I have handy. So it's not, it's certainly not well bourbon. So I'm going to do, this is an ounce and a half glass. There's a classic jigger glass. So a highball you do not need to make in a shaker. I don't anyway. I make it right in the glass, either at home or at work. So here I have that much whiskey in there, ounce and a half. We'll take it right there. And again, I'm just doing a classic simple highball. So I'm gonna add some club soda to it. Not a lot. So a highball is traditionally at most bars, or most old school bars, they are done different these days, but most old school bars always made them in a cylindrical glass where you could order a short or tall. A common misconception was that if you order a tall, you're getting more booze. You're not. You're getting more mixer. So if you don't want your drink watered down, or order a short. I always ordered a double short, but some will order that double tall. And here's what I got here. Now, I did add the lime, mostly for a little color. I didn't squeeze it. It's just kind of in there to look pretty. And this is just a classic highball. Your whiskey and soda, if you will. And sláinte. And sláinte, I do buckaroos. So here I have a classic highball. And the highball is typically simple, but I'm going to say you can make it as simple or as complicated as you choose. But the highball should be simple. It's just that quick, refreshing cocktail. A highball is always a cocktail. A cocktail isn't always a highball. And this is what I used to drink way back when in my early 20s. This was my drink of choice. Bourbon and soda. Just the bourbon and some club soda. But by the time I got into my 30s, I was pretty much on the rocks. And by my 40s, I was drinking mostly neat. And now in my 60s, I kind of bounce back and forth. I rarely drink a highball because those that know me know I don't like ice. I don't like ice in my drink. That's why I rarely drink a highball. But I didn't think any cocktail series would be complete without doing a classic highball. Jack and Coke, it's your classic highball, 7 and 7. Jameson and ginger. These are all classic highballs. You don't have to use those names, a bourbon and a whiskey and whichever you choose. A tequila sunrise is a highball. A Tom Collins is a highball. A screwdriver or a greyhound. These are all highballs. It's typically a spirit and a mixer. Sometimes there's a couple things in there, but they're usually just very simple. Greyhound. The greyhound can become a salty dog. But yes, they're a great summer cocktail, right? They're quick, they're easy, they're refreshing. And you can use your spirit of choice. I mean, if you prefer vodka, vodka and soda. If you prefer gin, gin and soda. Or again, gin and tonic would be a highball as well. Rum and Coke. I feel like cocktails were much simpler in the 70s and 80s. I feel like a lot of folks have gone out of their way to make things more complicated than they need to be. But then again, it's also, I think, where palates are now, right? It was different back then. I prefer a simpler cocktail myself, because I don't want my spirit muddled with other flavors. I like the taste of bourbon. So if I'm going to make a cocktail, I'm not going to add so many ingredients that my bourbon has been taken over by everything else I've added. From my point of view, from an old guy point of view, an old bartender point of view, it is the things you add to the cocktail should enhance the spirit, not take it over. And this is very nice. I haven't made myself a bourbon and soda in a while, and that tastes pretty damn good, I gotta tell you. That's rather tasty, man. Well, you wouldn't know that's a 100 proof bourbon. Wow, that is really tasty. Again, drink at your comfort level, right? Whatever whiskey you like, whatever whiskey you're willing to add the the highball additive to, right? If you're using club soda, ginger ale, a cola, whichever you choose, use the whiskey that's at your comfort level. If you want to go further down the food chain, that's fine. If you want to go further up the food chain, well, that's fine too. And I like to say your cocktail is only as good as the ingredients you put in it. Again, this highball is 2 ingredients. Well, 3 if you count the garnish, but I'm not. It's 2 ingredients. So again, my bourbon and soda is only going to be as good as the bourbon that I'm using. If I'm using a rot gut bourbon, I'm going to get a rot gut cocktail. Now, would I put club soda in a $100 bourbon? Absolutely not. But I'm not cringing over using a $40 bourbon as I'm using right now with the Coopers. This is a whiskey good enough to drink neat. Do not get me wrong. But I wanted a nice cocktail, which is why I chose to use this one. I didn't go quite a double on this one. I went a single and a half. I went a half out short of a double. Mostly because, well, I wanted to keep it simple for the video. But anyway, I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and thanks for tuning in, folks, and thanks for supporting Cocktails with the Whiskey Whisperer. Sláinte. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, all around good guy.